Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're doing amazing. I'm going to be sharing some tips for reducing melted body butter products, especially with the hot summer months coming, where it's typically it gets very hot. Body butter products are prone to melt, so I'm going to share some tips. Hopefully you find it helpful if you're someone that makes whipped body butter products, and if you sell these products during the summer months. Hopefully you find these tips helpful. So let's go on and get started. If this is your first time stopping by, my name is Esther and I make DIY hair and skincare videos here on YouTube. I also sell my handmade skincare products on my website, as well as teaching online formulating classes. If you are interested in checking any of my products out, I will have everything linked in the description box. So let's jump right in. So in this video, the body butter I'm addressing is the anhydrous body butter that is made without any water, that just contains the plant butter and oils. So unfortunately, this is a product that will melt when exposed to high heat, very hot temperatures. It is a natural process that just happens. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to buy a product that looks one way and then when it arrives, it looks completely different. But unfortunately, that's what happens with the anhydrous body butter products. When they are exposed to high heat, it's going to melt. But there are ways to reduce that from occurring, but keep that in mind, especially if you're a business owner and you plan on selling body butter products during the hot summer months. It is a lot of stress and hassle to stop these products from melting, but there are ways around it, but it's not 100% foolproof. So that's my little disclaimer here. It's not 100% foolproof, but it is very helpful. Before you even formulate your body butter product, you need to know and understand the melting point of your hard oils, your butters. So the melting point is the temperature at which the plant butter begins to melt. So if you use plant butters that have a low melting point, the faster it's going to melt when exposed to high temperature. So you basically want to choose a plant butter combination that has a higher melting point, because it's going to take longer to melt when exposed to high hot temperatures. Here are some examples of melting points. If you also do a Google search online and just type melting point for plant butters, oils, there are so many articles that are going to come up, and you can also study that and research that on your own. But with the melting point, like I said, you will want to use more solids than liquid in your formula. That is if you're trying to reformulate your body butter specifically for the hot summer months. So you want to use more of a higher percentage of your plant butters that have a higher melting point. Use less liquid plant oils or no plant oils in your formula. You may decide to use harder plant butters like kokum butter, cocoa butter, mango butter. Those have higher melting points than shea butter, so they will not melt as quickly as shea butter. So keep that in mind. Shea butter has a lower melting point than kokum butter, so that's why it melts much quicker when exposed to high heat, hot temperatures. If you decide to add oils, I would say use the smallest percentage possible or eliminate oils from your formula. For my first example, you'll see that I used shea butter at 60%. and grapeseed oil at 37.5%. So if this body butter is exposed to hot weather outside, let's just say 101 to 103 degrees Fahrenheit, most likely this body butter product is going to melt. It doesn't take much for shea butter to melt. It has a lower melting point than cocoa butter. So if it's a cooler weather month, like the fall months, this body butter will hold up perfectly. But for summer, this is not going to hold up at all. So it's just to give you something to think about when you are creating your body butter recipes. And then for my second example, I'm using cocoa butter at 81.5%, mango butter at 10%, and coconut oil at 6%. So this body butter formula has a higher percentage of hard butters, like the solids, and cocoa butter has a much higher melting point than shea butter. So a body butter formula like this will hold up better in the hotter summer months. But the problem is you may not like the finished product because it's just going to feel much harder to use, because cocoa butter is a very hard butter. It doesn't melt quickly, but it's not going to be a body butter that applies easily and nicely like your normal fluffy whipped body butter products. But it's just something to think about when you are creating your recipes. You honestly have to test, make small batches at a time, see how it holds up. There's not a perfect formula that I can craft for you and tell you use this body butter formula and it's never going to melt. Unfortunately, we're dealing with natural plant butters that are prone to melting when exposed to high temperatures. You can use hardeners and waxes to help harden up your body butter and to help raise up the melting point for your body butter product. So I'm talking about waxes like your beeswax, candelilla wax, stearic acid, rice bran wax, carnauba wax. There are other waxes, but these are the most popular ones that I'm aware of, and these are the ones that I've used. So that's why I listed them here, and I also listed their melting points. So if you look at the melting points, you'll see that they are much higher than your shea butter, which ranges about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So using these hardeners and waxes, yes, it's definitely going to harden up your body butter formula as well as raising up the melting point. Now, if you decide to use hardeners and waxes, it is going to change your formula, your body butter formula, quite drastically. So if you're someone like me that loves the soft, fluffy, whipped body butter products, when you incorporate a lot of this hardness, sometimes it's going to make your finished product much harder. So of course that's going to make it not melt as fast. So you have to kind of choose what you want. If you're okay with the finished product being much harder, then go for using these waxes. But if you're someone that doesn't want to make your finished product very hard, then you might have to just play around with the percentages of these waxes and find a happy medium that works in your body butter formula. I would just suggest as a general guideline, because all these waxes, hardeners, they have different usage rates. So a safe range would be to test between 2 to 8% in your body butter formula. You can start with maybe increments of 2%. So maybe try using, just as an example, maybe 2% of beeswax or 2% of candelilla wax in your body butter formula. Test that out and see how it holds up. If it doesn't hold up very well, then you can try increasing it. But you have to test your own specific formula with your own selected ingredients. Now, if you decide you don't even want to mess with your body butter formula, you don't want the stress or the hassle of dealing with melted body butter products, you can always consider switching to an emulsified body butter formula. So an emulsified body butter is made with a combination of water, oils, and butter, or just water and butter. So it depends on what you want to use. But I have several emulsified body butter videos here on my channel. I'll try to link them in the description box. But emulsified body butter products are more stable all year round. They're not going to melt. It's an emulsion, so it's going to hold up pretty much under any weather condition, as long as it's made properly. So definitely consider switching to an emulsified body butter product, or be like me that decides to not ship in the hot summer months, and I just ship out my body butter products now during the cooler fall months. But definitely keep this in mind, the emulsified body butter products. So another method I use is freezing my body butter products using thermal insulated packaging. So this is not a guarantee that your body butter product will not melt when it's exposed to hot temperatures, but you can try freezing your body butter jars for at least 24 hours, and then you would just use the thermal insulated packaging when you're shipping your product. So you would just put your frozen jars basically in this thermal packaging, wrap it up tightly, and then you would just ship as normal. But in the very hot months, you most likely would have to ship priority, like 2-day shipping, just to reduce the chance of your body butter melting. So of course this is not a guarantee once again, but it's something to test out and try out for yourself. So just freeze the body butter jars for at least 24 hours, 48 hours, and then just use the thermal insulated packaging if you're shipping your products. If you're not selling, you're just making for personal use, of course you don't have to worry about this. But if you plan on maybe gifting your body butter products to family, friends, you can definitely try using the thermal insulated packaging. And some final things to consider would be using small gel ice packs in your packaging when you're shipping. These are usually good for 24 to 48 hours, so you can just include this small gel ice packs along with your thermal insulated packaging when you're shipping to protect your body butter from melting. And also consider switching to an emulsified body butter formula, as I mentioned before, because these products are more stable and they don't melt when exposed to hot temperatures. And if you decide to reformulate your body butter product to include a harder butter like cocoa butter, maybe cocoa butter, and waxes like candelilla or beeswax, your finished product is going to be much harder. I hope you found my tips helpful in your body butter making journey, and if you have your own helpful tips, kindly share them in the comments, so that way we can all benefit from your suggestions as well. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Please, if you have any other questions, let me know in the comments below. I also have a body butter ebook that is super detailed. It also has 16 additional body butter formulas. I will have that linked in the description box if you want to check that ebook out. But I always love sharing what I know. But please don't forget to like this video if you haven't done so already, because that really helps me out. And don't forget to leave a heart emoji as well. I always appreciate your comments. Thanks so much for supporting me. I am so grateful, and thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.